What's up guys, this is Balázs from RacingBrick. Today I will show you and compare all the LEGO Technic Mercedes-Benz sets ever released. Well, actually that means these three here. The Mercedes-Benz Unimog U400, the Mercedes-Benz Arocs 3245 and the 4x4 Mercedes-Benz Zetros Trial Truck. Let's get started. If we follow a chronological order, the Unimog comes first. The set number is 8110, it was released 10 years ago in 2011, it has 2048 pieces and the retail price was $200 back then. Nowadays the used price is approximately the same, you can get it a bit cheaper if you are lucky. A sealed one will cost you at least $270, I checked all these prices on Bricklink. It's a great build, instructions are easy to follow. I bought this one used, you can see those rough 10 years on it. Stickers were not nice even when they were new as they are all over the place, but they did not age well at all. I found some small cracks on a few pieces and you can see some discoloring on the light bluish grey ones, but otherwise it works and does the job. And honestly, it does the job very well. First of all, for roughly 2000 pieces, this set looks massive. The Zetros has more pieces, but it looks tiny next to it. We have hand-of-God steering that works okay if the truck is in motion, but due to the huge wheels it is a challenge to turn it in place. There's a cabin with some interior details, but the doors does not open. It can be tilted forward, although the pins holding it in place are quite a challenge to access. You can see the engine that is driven by both the front and the rear axles, thanks to the differentials in the axles and the central differential. Do you see that, Ford Raptor? A 4x4 setup in a non-motorized model. Not impossible after all. There's a nice bouncy suspension on both axles with a very impressive suspension travel and articulation. We have portal axles just like on the real thing, although the gearing is 1-to-1 here. Apart from the steering, another manual function is the outrigger operation at the rear. They are that simple to use and they really do provide additional stability. We have battery powered functions thanks to this power functions battery box and the medium motor on the other side. With this yellow lever, here you can choose between the PTOs, that's short for power takeoff, or the pump that feeds the pneumatics. If you select the PTOs, by default you have a winch at the front, and at the rear you can rotate the crane, and you switch between the two with the red lever. Both of these have built-in clutch gears for protection. You control the direction with the switch on the battery box in both cases. If you select the pump with the yellow lever, then there's this valve where you can switch between the front and the rear output. Yes, the whole system is fully modular, you can mount the winch at the front and the crane at the back, or the other way around. There are PTOs and pneumatic connection on both ends. Brilliant, isn't it? Despite the age, the pneumatic functions work okay. It is probably not as fast as it was 10 years ago, but still does the job. The B model is a snowplow attachment for the Unimog. Now let's see the Arocs. The set number is 42043, it was released in 2015, it has 2793 pieces and the price was $230 back then. Nowadays it's approximately the same if you want to get it used, for a sealed one you need to pay around $370. The build is definitely more challenging than the Unimog, especially the tubing part. Take a look at this mess of a spaghetti here and here as well, that you need to squeeze through some tiny holes and connect properly. Definitely not for beginners. This one was also both used, and I had less luck with it, had way more cracks on some pieces unfortunately, and the discoloring is more noticeable. Stickers were in terrible shape or missing, so I tried to pimp it up with a replacement sticker sheet made by Forward Sticker. This one also has hand-of-God steering, but both front axles are steered and turn at a different angle. Thanks to the smaller wheels and the gearing, it is much easier to operate than on the Unimog. The mechanism that connects the hand-of-God knob with the axles is actually something worth to study. The cabin has some details and the doors open this time, and it can be also tilted. It is only held in place by its weight, and you need to pay attention to the proper alignment when you put it back in place as it can get stuck easily. The engine is driven by both rear axles through the differentials and this shaft here. Unfortunately, it has a tendency to disconnect fairly easily. We have suspension on all axles. The setup is very different for the front and the rear ones, and they are also quite complex and realistic. The power functions battery box is behind the cabin this time, and there's a large motor connected to it. There are two levers on both sides to switch between the functions. On this side, we can either operate the extension of the outriggers or the rotation of the crane. The direction of the movement is controlled by the switch on the battery box. Once extended, the outriggers need to be lowered manually. Thanks to the worm gears, they stay in position and they do provide some stability to the truck. The switch on the other side controls the tipping bed in this position. The other position drives the small pneumatic pump. Once we activate this function, there are 4 pneumatic valves to control these functions on the crane. You can see 4 cylinders here that should do the job. Despite being a few years younger than the Unimog, the pump driving this thing does not work well at all anymore, unfortunately. The crane does move, but very slowly and gets stuck easily. The B model is a slightly different version of the truck with a trailer and a different crane. Now let's see the third model, the Zetros. I won't go very much in the details with this one. If you are interested, I'll link my detailed building review in the top right corner. The version I have here is already stripped down for off-roading, so it's missing all the bells and whistles that can fall off, but I show you how it looked like originally. The set number is 42129, it has 2110 pieces, and it is still available from LEGO for $300. It is very different from the first two as it is equipped already with powered up electric components. The truck is remote controlled and most of its functions is related to that. It also requires a smart device for control. It barely has any manual functions. You can open the doors and the hood, but there's no fake engine there this time. It uses a Technic hub, 3 large motors for drive and steering, and a medium motor to control the differential lock. The main feature is the remote control operation with the Control Plus app. The truck has a 4x4 drivetrain with a remotely lockable central and rear differential. It is quite slow, but it has some very impressive capabilities out of the box. It can drive through obstacles if the ground clearance allows it, and climb some very impressive ramps. Unfortunately, this insane power can also cause some issues, since some parts in the rear axle can separate by themselves, causing some cracking. I also have a video about this, you can check it out if you are interested. The app has an excellent function that I really hope to see in other sets as well. You can use this augmented reality feature to study the drivetrain and understand how it works. This set does not have a B model, unfortunately. Now to the comparison part. We have 3 sets. The first 2 are sort of related as they both have power functions, they have manual features, powered ones and pneumatics as well. The third one is pretty different as it focuses purely on the RC experience with app control. If I have to compare these two, for me the Unimog is a clear winner. Although there's more of everything in the Arocs, I think it is already too much. The pneumatic system is complicated and a real pain to assemble. The steering and suspension is quite sophisticated but not really used, and the whole operation requires a lot of practice. The Unimog on the other hand is impressively big with a lower piece count, and it also means that the internals are visible and more accessible. The modularity and versatility with the PTOs and the pneumatic attachment points is excellent, a very motivational setup for building custom attachments. You can find some great examples online. It is easy to operate and offers a lot of playability. The Zetros is very different, as I said. Here the playability means only remote control. From a mechanical standpoint, the RC locking differential is something that worth to build and study. It is definitely fun to drive around and you can come up with some tough challenges for it, but at this point it's really only an RC truck with app control. If I had to choose between these 3, despite my love of everything RC, I would go with the Unimog. For me, this feels to be a very nice balance between manual and powered functions and pneumatics. It offers a nice building and play experience as well, and tons of potential for customization. Second is the Zetros for being RC and very powerful, and the third one is the Arocs. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. How would you rate these 3 sets? What is your experience with them? If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up. You can also subscribe and tap that notification bell if you don't want to miss my upcoming LEGO reviews and other LEGO RC videos. See you next time, bye bye.